Hello everybody, and welcome back to the shop for a special prime time mini-series called How to Build a F-35 Foamy. Now I'm just going to go over some of this building and show you guys how easy this is. Not for you professional builders out there, but for you people just getting started in our scene, okay? These weren't around in our younger days. The morphs, when years ago, was no good. Now they got these things flying pretty good these days. Modern technology, ain't it something? But here's the wings. I kind of test fit one. And nice and tight, really tight. So tight I could hardly get it in there. That's good because we got to sand this paint off and rough it up. And it's still going to fit. There's parts are still going to fit tight. So I'm going to put these aside for just a second. I'm going to pull the fuselage over here. Kind of went over everything. And it all looks really good. Okay, took the motor and fan unit out, and that looks like a really nice little setup. It's all nice and solid, and looks good. I kind of like the way these are going to glue together back here. The elevators, they're kind of notched, you know, then it's got the same notches on the fuselage, which kind of interlock it. Like a, you know, a puzzle or something. Gives it a nice tight fit. Super tight. So tight that we can sand that paint off and not affect nothing. I kind of like the way all this goes together. Just interlocks right there. Bam. Real tight. Kind of feel it and you can push it and you can feel it snap into place. And the retracts look good mounted. I don't look them over. I ain't going to turn nothing on yet, so got the battery charging. The verticals, again, fit nice and tight. What I want to do is sand this paint off because there ain't no kind of glue sticks to paint. Go up too high. Remove that paint. Now I had a friend of mine built a lot of these foamies. He experimented around with different types of glue. Glued parts together, then broke them apart, see which one's glued best, which one's held best. You know what works the best is that hot glue gun. The only bad thing is you have zero working time. You splat it and you put it in place. If it ain't in place, you ruin your airplane. You know, thing there. That's the bad thing about it. The glue that comes with it is kind of a contact adhesive. Got to be careful with that too. You use too much and it tends to melt that foam and your parts won't get solid. They'll just stay kind of loose. And there's epoxy, which don't do a bad job. When I do use epoxy though, after it's sanded, I'll take a toothpick and kind of poke some holes in there. You know, but epoxy just ain't quite as flexible as our other choices too, you know. Well, what a great way for a dad to bond with his kids. One of them pusher stars. Oh yeah. Them little kids could fly that airplane, man. Me and Dad would have had one of them out in the neighbor's yard. Our neighbor had a great big yard, and I used to fly my control line airplanes out there. But I can remember Dad, man, when I was little. They used to sell them balsa wood rubber band powered kits in like Kmart. You know, you can go anywhere, buy it. David's. I used to save my allowance up. These only $3 or $4, man. And go buy one of them. Is why I can remember Dad making them when I was 5, 6 years old. He made me this one. I just thought it was just the biggest thing I ever seen. And you know, and it was always in actuality, you know. So I'll never forget that airplane. We used to wind that dude up and go in the backyard and chuck it. Boy, and I'd be chasing it. I'd chase him down, man. Then one year I got my first control line for Christmas. Oh, I was hooked. Flew them little ones for a long time. Then buddy of mine, he had this friend had a half-built, big stunt control line. Man, that thing was monstrous. I thought, I don't know, 12 or 13. He wanted like $5 for it. So I went home, Dad, can I have $5? Can I have $5? And well, he gave it to me, and I brought that thing home, and man, I worked on that airplane every day. I got it covered with tissue, and I didn't have a motor for it. You know, back then it was only like $15. And oh, there's Dad for Christmas. Probably my first engine. It was a McCoy 19, I think. A 19 or 16. It was a McCoy control line engine. And that was the first engine I had that you didn't run Cox fuel. You know, you had to run regular fuel that they sell for the 40s and stuff. So I went down to the hobby shop, man, got me a gallon of fuel. Oh, and had a heck of a time getting it started. But when I finally got it started, I sure had some fun with that big old airplane. I just thought it was the biggest thing I ever seen, man. In actuality, I don't know, it was probably a 19 size control line plane. Man, that engine is just monstrous. Okay, bam, got them rudders ready to glue on. Are we still ticking? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, got the rudders ready to glue on. As soon as that battery charges, we'll give these, here, I'm just using one of these, it's actually a 7-channel. Yeah, gear, rudder, gear, no, 6-channel. 6-channel Spectrum receiver. Ain't much to these little things. And as soon as my battery charges, we'll check the gear. We'll go ahead and get these elevators ready to glue on. Take these rudders off so we don't ding them up. I bet this thing flies pretty good. 4-cell battery. No, remember people, I got a bad old motor in the house. We could soup this thing up right quick. Oh, it'd scream with that ARC. But no, we're going to give it to test this bone stock battery, bone stock everything. We might soup her up a little later. Well, we just got to sand the paint off all these pieces. We're just using 36 grit paper. Got to be careful not to mar everything up. But this makes your paint. If you don't do this, your glue will not stick. These pieces will pop right off in flight and you'll crash. You will crash, even in here. This lip in here.